Good morning, guys. Aniket, got your message, buddy. I'll wrap up by 11:30. Sorry about that. Sorry about the delay. And just making sure you guys can hear me. Aniket, let's see. My boy Rahul, are you there? Can you give me a quick yes, please? Great. Thank you, Aniket. I won't take much of your time. And let's see, get started today. Looks like Rahul is here. Guys, would any of you like to take the place of Rahul? Can you give me a quick yes, please? Or shall I continue with Rahul? Pardon. Okay, Rahul, go ahead and share your screen, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy. Just there you go. Oh, okay. I thought you need to be co-host. Okay, go ahead and log in, and let's continue our journey with the Docker. Let's see where we are. Back here. For one moment, I'll take the screen back, Rahul, and then I'll hand over to you. So let me share my screen.
Yeah.
So, this here. See us here. Okay. So let's see. What do you think is Devops, Rahul? Just a quick and friendly review. You don't need to give me the
DevOps is a kind of a culture or concept which used to combine what we say, integrate both operation team and development team.
Very good. Why do we need this culture between the dev and ops teams?
Yeah. So the issue was that the software which is working in the development with the development team is not working same in the operation with the operation team. So there is a issue with the environment. So that was the issue.
Okay. So also good one. Okay. So many times what works in development team may not necessarily work in multiple environments and multiple clouds. So that's where a common layer needed to be developed, and that's what the DevOps is about. Okay.
Yeah.
What was main problem before DevOps?
This was the issue. Like before DevOps, software working in one environment, not working in other environment, and everyone is working in silo. Yeah. These were the issues. Expenses, low trust issue.
Okay. Why has it become very, very important?
We get quick feedback for everything. Like if there is any issue, everyone take responsibility of any issue happens. We can resolve issues much faster, and we can deliver product faster.
It's about the delivery. The businesses and the organizations are making a lot of deliveries and deployments at runtime, and the number of deployments are increasing on a day-to-day basis. That is why DevOps is increasingly becoming important. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's see more important things. Okay, let's see. Here's a slightly tough one, buddy. We didn't go much into it, but let's see. Can you tell me what is? Let me scroll up here. Oh, okay. What do you think is continuous integration?
Continuous integration means if development team create one software, it must be integrated with the existing software which is running. So that is the integration. But in continuous integration, we continuously develop and integrate with the running software.
Okay, so short and sweet, which are the phases, which are the things which come into the continuous integration?
As you showing on the screen, it is development, version control, build and unit testing, automation, acceptance testing, user exception.
That is continuous deployment, goes to the end. What do you think of the three things in continuous integration? Tough question, buddy.
Yeah,
But,
commit, trigger, and feedback.
okay, more precisely, the developer version control and only the build and the unit testing. The first three is where the continuous integration is. Okay, the automated acceptance testing is not part of the continuous integration. It is more continuous integration is more related to the developers only.
Okay.
Okay, and again, we'll talk more about it. And let's see, the subtle deployment. Okay, okay. Till where do you think the continuous deployment goes?
Continuous deployment, yeah, till release.
Okay, deployment is more precisely up to the user acceptance testing.
Okay.
And then after that is the release management. The last step is the release management.
Okay. So integration is still build and unit testing, and deployment is still user acceptance. And what is this last stage is called release?
Release management, where you maintain the multiple releases and you take care of them. So deployment is where you're packaging it. You just package, you ship it off to somebody. There will be one person who might be held responsible for multiple releases and things like that. That's a totally release team. Okay. There could be an outside person also for product oriented things and so on. Okay. So what do you think is a Docker?
Docker is a kind of a VM which include only software and the related libraries. It does not include the OS. It uses the host OS to run and Docker engine.
Very good. Good answer. So more precisely, we use Docker to create the containers. And your answer is also very good. So what do you think is the difference between Docker and a container?
Docker is an engine to run the container, and container is where we package our code and libraries.
So I'm sorry, I think I missed something, Rahul. What did you say?
Yeah, Docker is the engine for running the container, and container is where we package our code and libraries.
Excellent. Docker is the ship. It's not just the engine, it's also the ship and the engine. It's the engine and the ship. Containers are the packages which contain the dependencies of the applications and so on.
Yeah.
So what is the main advantage of this?
Yeah, so if we use the container, it can work same in any environment mostly.
Good one. Containers can work in multiple environments. And let's see, what is the difference between virtualization and containerization?
In virtualization, the VMs also contain the guest OS, so they are heavy. They take more time to start and stop everything.
Very good.
And it runs over the hypervisor. But in containerization, it runs over the container engine, and it does not include the OS. It uses the host OS.
Excellent. Excellent. As simple as that. And let's see. Let's come back here and see what else we have. So that is the container engine. Okay, we'll talk more about it. And let's see, I'll share the screen. You bring up the screen, please.
I am in the controller node right now.
Let's see, one moment, please. Yesterday, I think in Node 1, we installed it, right? Right, Rahul? It was not in controller node. We were in the Node 1, I think.
Yeah.
Go back to the blue window and log in from there, no? It's much better. Okay. So can you do a history, please? I think get in as root. I think most of the commands we might have run as root. History. And let's see. Okay, scroll all the way up. So we installed the Docker, and we added the Docker, and we check the status. Now, what does the line 37 do? Explain.
It is running. We are telling the Docker to run this containers, but it does not contain the image. So it will first pull the image, then it will run.
Good answer. So in other words, the first step is it downloads the image, then runs the container. What is the difference between 37 and 38?
Yeah, 38 we are using, running in interactive mode. So
Good
we
answer.
can type command also.
Very good. What is the difference between ls and ls-a in Docker?
ls only shows running containers, but ls-a show all the containers whether it is running or not.
Okay. Explain 53.
Run action we are telling the Docker to run in a detached mode and in a background. Yeah.
Very good. If you recall that. D stands for detach, to be more precise. Attach and detach. What does attach do?
Attach, it will like interactive mode. It will show the output on the terminal.
Very good. In other words, you're getting into the container.
Yeah.
Okay. And what happens when you stop container?
It stops the container.
Stops the container. Okay. Simple answer. We'll keep it. Will not overcomplicate it. Let's say, explain me line 67. How would we? Sorry.
Yeah, we are creating container and giving it the name and running in interactive mode. But this time we are creating.
In what scenarios do you think we'll create a? Are we creating a container here?
Maybe we are pulling the image only.
We're pulling an image. No, actually, we are creating a container here, buddy.
Okay.
What in what does a container sit? It's an image, Ubuntu image. Catching it, Rahul? Ubuntu is image. Inside that, we are creating another container. The name is new bash.
Okay.
What does that bash tell you on the right hand side?
There.
The bash on the right hand side, what does that tell you?
We are telling to use bash shell.
As simple as that. When you start the container, it will start running the bash shell, okay?
Yeah.
And let's say DTI, I think we've looked at that. Okay, Ubuntu, the line 78, explain please.
Yeah, it is running in detached mode in the background and running this top command on the container top name.
Okay. When do you think we will create a container, Rahul? That's a tough question, buddy.
Yeah, if we want to add a new layer, maybe then maybe we can.
if you want to add a new layer. Okay. So in other words, I'll give you a hint, see if you're able to think here. So here we are creating a new container called new bash. And once it comes up, it will run the bash shell. So one more time, the hint is the bash shell. What is bash?
Bash is argument.
Bash is?
Argument.
Document. Okay. So in other words, bash is a program. It's like a program and it's like an application. For the sake of simplicity, imagine that is a web application. So in other words, your team, your development team, or maybe has packaged an app or a web application and they've given it to you. And now what they will do, that's all, they will leave it there. All their duty is to end there. The deployment team and they comes into the picture and they are packaging it and they are running it. So what might we do? We will create a container on our production server, on our staging server, on our other kind of production backup servers and things like that. Are you catching the point, buddy?
Yeah, but we can also build if we want to add extra features, no? Like build an image and then we can run.
That's an image. So inside the image, you run multiple containers. So now let us say you have built the image and you're running one container. And let's say that some web application suddenly it got very popular. Tens and tens, hundreds and hundreds are all over the world are accessing your web server, but it's not able to take the load.
Yeah.
What do you do? That's where the load balancing, the auto scaling, all those techniques come in. And what do? We can also scale at a container level. We can create another container, and make it available on the web. Catching it. So instead of running it in one process, you can have it run in multiple processes. And of course, the developers will have to develop the application in a way where if it runs in multiple process for scaling and auto scaling, their code should be native to the cloud and things like that. But maybe that's a slightly advanced scenario. We'll try to look at understand. But are you getting a rough idea?
We will use this Docker container create when we want to add more features to existing container.
More?
Right. So when we will use at that time.
Okay. I've muted Sri Shell. Let me go ahead and unmute yourself, Rahul.
So sir, when we will use this create command, if we want to add extra feature to existing container, then we will.
No, you don't add the features. Developers add the features. You want to scale it. You may want a lot of users are accessing this application, which is running in a single container. And now the server or the container is not able to take the load and things like that. You want to scale it within one server, within multiple servers, within multiple clouds and things like that. You can manually create more containers and make your application available in more ways.
Okay, so using this command, Docker container.
This is one way to create a container for multiple for your apps and things like that. Okay, this is one way.
Okay.
Generally, they will not come up to you, and they may not. But once in a while, if they are not much, if they do not have much of an idea, then you may end up doing this kind of things. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a slightly advanced one, buddy. We'll discuss it a little later. But let's say explain me line 90.
We are inspecting top demo with we are inspecting the top demo, and it will showing the JSON or the JSON output of the details about this top demo.
What are we doing here? What is that giving you?
It is giving the JSON output which contains the network information, and from there we are pulling the IP address. And
good answer. Short and sweet, we are getting the IP address of it. Okay.
Yeah.
execute line number 90. Okay, and what is this one? This is this a private IP or a public IP?
This is private to container only.
It's private to the container. Ah, good one there. I think the word 27 is a private IP or a public IP, the one we are logged into.
This is also a private IP, 122.751.
Okay, so let's see. I come back here. Okay, here we go. Say Docker ls-a. Oh, sorry, Docker contain. Docker container ls. Docker container.
ls.
Yeah, ls-a. So we have a bunch of containers exited up to 24 hours. We still have top demo and new bash running them, and we can stop them. But let's say Docker images, Docker space images. You have htop, repository, Ubuntu, and hello world. 3 images are there. Okay, not a bad idea. Okay, now let's say Docker run CentOS. Wait a moment. It's pulling it. Pardon me. Sorry about that. Is it done?
Yeah, it is exited.
And let's say that is a CentOS. You did a good Docker container ls-a. Do the Docker images. CentOS is there. It is latest one, and there's image ID 231 MB. Okay, acceptable. Now let's say Docker run -it space CentOS. Sorry, Docker run space -it CentOS bash. What happened now?
We are logged. We are starting this container, creating CentOS and connecting to it, to its thread and bash shell.
Okay, so short and sweet, we are in interactive mode. We are inside the container.
Yeah.
Which is running bash, simple as that. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's say just type in cat space /etc /star release star release. Star release star. Yeah. All right. So let's say just trying to make sure. So CentOS Linux release 8.4. Okay. So okay. Exit out of the container. Check Docker space PS. Okay, top demo, and this is the process status 24 hours ago. Okay, now type in ps-a, Docker ps-a. And let's see what we have. There is an image sent to us, and about a minute ago we exited. Okay, and let's say now let's try to run this. Say Docker -d and say run CentOS space sleep 20.
Sorry.
Sleep, SLEEP, sleep,
Sleep.
sleep, buddy, SLEEP, like you
SLE.
sleep, like you're sleeping in the night.
Okay.
Not getting it? Let me check it.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Docker -d, buddy, not V. D for dog. Run CentOS sleep space 20. Okay, run it. And now notice, bring up the command. Bring up the previous one. Docker run -d.
Docker run -d.
Cool. So now, so sleep 20. So just to make you kind of understand, one more time, let's say sleep space 200. Bring up the same and use 200 instead of 20. So that it takes a little bit more. Run it. Notice it is giving you some ID, but so it is, what it is actually doing is it is running the CentOS, and sleep means it is waiting. 20 should be actually 1000. Try 2000. Now it comes up immediately. Okay. Now say Docker PS -a. CentOS. Let me see. Adjust the window. So one is up to 9 seconds, 31 seconds, and so on. So there is the command sleep 20. These are the ones which are running. Sleep means exit 0, 30. So when you said 51, 30. So 20 is actually 20 seconds. Okay. So in other words, what it is doing is, what I'm trying to convey is when you say sleep 20, it started the container, it waited for 20 seconds, and then it has automatically shut down. Now go ahead and PS-A one more time, bring it up. You'll notice the second one will be gone. Exited about a minute ago. Sleep 200 is gone, and it looks like after 48 seconds. So 2000, it will take some time, and after that it will exit.
Yeah.
Catching it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So okay, and D, what D is doing is it is running in a detached mode, as you said.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, let's say, what is the name of this one? Do we see names? CentOS nifty underscore neither. So let's do this. Say Docker stop space nifty underscore no ether. Under CentOS, notice there is something called nifty underscore no ether. Enter. Exit. Sorry, give it a moment. And now check the Docker PSA. And now if you see, we exited 15 seconds ago. We stopped it manually.
Okay.
It was running in the background. We asked it to run 2000, roughly maybe 2000 seconds, something like that. But when we said it stopped the container. Catching it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So once in a while, what will happen is when applications are running, their containers, their respective containers may get hanged up. They're not responding, not much work is happening at the other servers, at the other infrastructure levels and things like that. What we may be interested is, we may be interested in terminating those containers. Catching it, buddy?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, now here's a slightly tough question. Let's say for some reason your team or your guys or the architect decided and said, hey guys, can you take care of this container? Let's drop it or kill it and things like that. There could be a problem you might face. It's a tough question, buddy. What do you think is the problem you might face?
If it may be possible that container will make recreate like if
Okay.
we
The container may recreate. So in other words, more precisely, if you stop the container forcibly, you may lose the data. You may lose data, you may lose the configuration settings that were inside it. If you happen to stop or kill it, there are chances of that. Catching it, buddy?
yes.
Okay, so we'll see how to handle that. So let's say we stop it and let's say Docker container ls-a. Okay, now if you take a look at the first container, take the first 4 letters 2AF3. Okay, now what we'll do, say Docker RM, Docker space RM space that 2AF3. Wait, one moment. What we'll do is first say, remove that one, backspace it up to Docker. I'm sure.
No, I haven't run it. This terminal is not working as expected.
Okay, that's okay. Just say Docker ps Docker space ps
Yes.
space -a. And let's see. These are process status. So I'm sorry. Say Docker images. And let's see. We have CentOS is right now 231 MB, right?
Yeah.
So if you scroll up a little bit and look at that CentOS Sleep 2000, take the first the first 4 letters are 2AF3. Let's remove that one. Now say Docker RM and give 2AF3.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Now look at Docker images again. It's still 231. Okay, that is purely CentOS. Maybe it is saving the additional layer somewhere because containers are, Docker is a group of containers. So if you remove one container, I expected it to reduce more than 231. But maybe it is holding on to it.
But these are just images now, so their size always remains same.
An image is nothing but a group of containers. This is skeleton image. So it is possible we may no. I mean, I will need to verify that. That's what I'm trying to convey. An image is having a group of containers. That's what is making 231 MB. In that 231 MB, its base skeleton will be immutable, will not be changeable. Okay, or in other words, I'll put it short and sweet. What you said is right. This is probably the skeleton itself. So the containers we're running, it's creating container. Maybe somewhere it is tracking it at another place. So when you removed it, it probably removed another file somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you remove. Now, if you take a look at scroll up a little bit and take a look at that sleep 200 is 830F and sleep 20 is DFD1. So now come down, say Docker RM and give for the first 4 characters, RM space, the first 4 characters of both of them. So one is 830F space DFD1.
Okay.
Yeah. So they both are gone. Now verify again. PSA. No. Verify again, buddy.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
PS, sir. What do we do? Oh, there you go. Yeah. You want to close this terminal or reopen or just exit and come out so that the refresh is happening properly?
Yeah.
But are you observing the sleep 200 is gone, see sleep 2000 is gone, sleep 20 is gone?
Yeah.
So we're cleaning up the containers.
Yes.
Many times they may ask you to clean up some containers. What will ideally happen is somebody in an application is watching their logs they have. They're noticing too many exceptions happening and their data is not getting saved in the DB or things like that. They are getting stuck and things like that. So you may many times get a request to say, hey, buddy, can you somehow stop this application, clean up this application or do something at your end so that nobody can use it and things like that.
Okay.
Catching it. So what is the main
So,
advantage?
so sir, killing and RM is same, or
Pardon?
they are different?
What is it?
Docker kill and Docker RM, both are same or different?
No. RM is removing it, but you're removing the image, removing the container. Kill is you're stopping the process.
Okay.
Containers
So
being
stop.
Stop is also stopping it. Kill is a force stop, and it will not necessarily save some of the stuff that stop may save.
Okay.
Stop is a graceful kill, and kill is a straight kill. Okay. Okay. And let's see. They will ask you to clean up the containers, and because they're not able to, their application has a problem or something like that. That is one thing which commonly happens. And now here's a slightly tough question, buddy. See if you can try to answer this. What is the advantage? So in other words, what is the advantage of killing? What do we do? Removing the containers like this. Or in other words, without container or Docker, what would have happened in real world? How are they doing? That's a tough question. So what might happen is they may ask you to restart the server. They may ask you to restart the web server, the IaaS, or other kinds of web servers or web application servers. The problem is when you restart a server or when you restart IaaS servers, there might be many other processes and applications running on that one. Everybody will get impacted.
Yes. Okay.
Catching it, buddy?
Yes.
So now at a microscopic level, we are able to handle these scenarios.
Yes.
Good. Have you logged into node 1?
Yeah, this is more.
Okay, so let's see what else we have. And so like that, you later clean up some of these containers, buddy, okay? And RMI, okay. Now one more time, list the images, Docker images. We have Ubuntu, we have Hello World, and we have CentOS, I think. Okay, go ahead and do Docker RMI HTOP demo. RMI.
RMI image. Okay.
Enter. Okay, verified. Cool.
Yes.
Okay. Later, you can go ahead and remove the Ubuntu and Hello World also. Go ahead and remove all the three.
Okay.
Ubuntu, Hello World, and say, I think you can do it in one shot.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Oh. So, okay. What do you think is the problem? That's a tough question, buddy.
Yeah. So already these two containers are using that image.
The containers are?
Using this image.
Very good. The containers are referring to this one. Okay. So what do you think we can do?
Yeah, we should, either we should first stop this image container, then we can delete it, or or we can
Very good. You already answered it. Stop them. How do you stop it?
stop or kill command.
Stop. Stop, and you can just paste the container, anybody.
Yeah.
It's right there in the message. In the error message only it is there. Okay, it's up to you.
It's okay. Yeah.
Error response from daemon, no such container. Just I think you cannot do two at a time, maybe one at a time, really. Just do one at a time.
Yeah, we can do, but this ID was this is for this image ID.
Good. Keep it up.
Then
So right, the containers are listed right here. You don't need to scroll up. It says, must force container. So right here on the left-hand side, the container IDs are there. You can just copy it right from here.
yeah. So I have stopped both the containers. Still, it is.
To stop the containers. Have you stopped this FEC66?
I think so.
Stop it again. If you think so, if you're not sure, you do it again.
Yeah. They all are exited.
Exited. For status is exited. And even though they exited, it is not removing is what you're saying. Yeah? Try removing Ubuntu once. So what is that one? Unable to remove repository reference Ubuntu is using. So it says container is using it. So now remove, you said you stopped it, right? Remove the container, F1B3.
Software RM.
Yeah. RM is for container, RMI is for image. Now remove the Ubuntu. Container is using its referenced image. You have removed the container. Check and see if the container is still running. F1B3. See F1B3 is not here.
This time it is saying this container.
B8B. Stop it and try removing it, or just remove it directly.
Yeah, it is. Maybe we need to remove all the.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to remove all these containers.
Yeah. We need to remove, buddy. Sorry, I didn't notice the others are going to go ahead and remove that.
Okay.
That is done, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think B8 and there's one more 8B22. There's one more, I think, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Now remove the hello world and send to us. Pardon me. Okay.
Hello world is still running. Maybe that's. Exited.
That's okay. I'm just giving you an idea. You later remove it. Later remove it. Okay.
Okay.
And we have run clear your screen. And let's see what is it. We were trying to remove the images. Okay, Ubuntu is gone. Okay, just say Docker pull space Ubuntu. Run it. Enter. So what do you think it is doing?
Pulling image.
As simple as that. Now there is a subtle difference between Docker pull and Docker run. What do you think it is?
Docker pull only pulls the image. It will
Yes.
not run, but Docker run will run also.
Very good. Okay. So as simple as that. Now, how do you run Ubuntu?
We can start it, or we can say Docker run. Same.
As simple as that. Say Docker run Ubuntu. So now check the process. PSFNA. So Ubuntu. So it says it exited 12 seconds ago. So it ran and it looks like it already exited also.
Yes.
Let's say try this one. Docker run -d Ubuntu. And
Open D.
D for dog, yeah, detached mode. And say sleep for maybe 100.
Okay.
Enter. Now check the process status. From what I recall, you shouldn't even get the root thing. It should sleep actually. It was up 3 seconds ago. Now again run PSA. 13 seconds means, which means our 100 is referring to 100 seconds.
Yes.
For a moment, I thought 1000 is, sometimes we refer the milliseconds here. That's what I was trying to verify. But okay. So I guess it will sleep, and after 100 seconds, it will go, is what we can do. Now, let's say, bring it up one more time, PSA. Let's see how many seconds we got. 43, okay. Maybe it might take off this time, but try executing docker exec. Copy that container ID. Exec, copy the container ID. Space cat space /etc /release star. Star, enter. Okay, now if you take a look at Ubuntu, we are running version 20.0.4, right?
Yes.
So what do you think this is doing? Tough question.
Yeah, it is executing command on this container.
Very good.
Cat command.
Inside the container. It's
Inside this container. Yeah.
Very good. It's as if it went into the container, it found out what is the version of the Ubuntu we are running. Catching it? Buddy?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And let's see. Okay, next let's see. Check the process status. We exited. Now one more time run the previous command. Cat command. Okay, now. So what does that mean?
Previously it was running in sleep mode, but right now it is not running. The container is not running. That's why we are not able to.
Very good. So in other words, container is not running. So it's like the application is not there. So it's not able to check the Linux version or whatever that version is. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Would you like a small break, buddy?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. Go ahead. Get some break. Get 5-minute break. Okay, I'm back. Rahul, are you back?
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. Go ahead and share your screen, please. Okay, and we are now running as root. Okay, just try Docker run Redis. Yeah, 31.38 MB. Okay, which is not bad. Full complete. Status downloaded, ready to accept connection. So in other words, it's now running the Redis, and so in other words, it's like the Redis is already installed. Is what is happening here. Okay, try to come out of this one. Oh, wait. 1 minute. Let me see. This one I probably may not be able to execute it, but let's see. Okay. Come out of this one. Do a Control C. See if it lets you come out. Okay. Verify the images. We have Redis 113 MB. Okay. Not bad. Oops. Pardon me. Let's say, I think I will skip this part of it. Open up the browser and access hub.docker.com. And let's say go and search for Redis. Okay, and here official image, click on the official image.
Yeah.
Click on it. And if you scroll down, yeah, these are different release, these are supported tags. So we have 7.0, 6.0.16, and scroll down, log file links. Security Redis, how to use this image, start a Redis instance. Okay, start with persistent storage. Okay, we'll look at some of these things. But what I wanted to show you was, scroll up please. Scroll up.
Oh, sorry.
Where the versions were. So somewhere the versions information was there. I think it's still on the top. On the top. Yeah. Supported tags. Just click on the tags there. Is it pointing here? Okay, there you go. Latest, and then we have bullseye. 7.0RC2. 7.0RC2. Scroll down. Go back to the description. Scroll down. Okay, let's say take 6.0.16. Okay, now come back here. We'll take 6.2.6. Let's say we want a specific version. Say Docker run Redis : Docker run Redis : 6.2.6. Yeah. So there it is. That is downloading the Docker 6. That is how we get a specific version, because many times we may be asked to download specific versions and things like that. Okay.
Yes, yes.
You can come out of that. Say come here. I'm gonna copy this one. Simple prompt. Web app. Okay. Next one is how to install, run and install MySQL. So let's say Docker run MySQL. Enter. So it is 27.5. Okay. need to specify the login database is uninitialized. Okay. Now let's say, what is it? Database is uninitialized. Okay, we need to create the database and things like just service. We are in the root and things like that. Let's say now check the images, check the containers. Verify them. MySQL is the 521 MB container. LSA. Okay. Docker entry point, pedantic star. So that's MySQL. Okay, there you go. So now let's say Docker stop MySQL. Okay. Verify again PSA. No such container.
It's already existed.
You already stopped it, yeah. So let us say Docker stop my Docker RM MySQL. No, sorry, MySQL is an image, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead and RMI, I think, right? Image.
Still there, maybe.
Have you verified? Just say Docker images. MySQL is the name of the repository which is there, but why is it not allowing it? Docker RMI?
Because it is still there inside the.
Oh, we have the container. Okay.
Yeah.
So stop the container.
We need to maybe RM.
Yeah. Try removing it. Cool.
Yeah.
Wait for the images.
No.
Okay. So now MySQL is gone. Now imagine a scenario where by the time, imagine on day one, we downloaded the MySQL, somebody configured it, somebody started using it. And on another day, maybe tomorrow, you went ahead and you had to stop the container and you had to, or remove the container and you decided to remove the MySQL. What could be the problem we might face?
Yeah, so the problem may be the data we have stored in that.
Simple as that. We would lose all the data.
Yeah.
Catching it? So now what we'll do is we'll say Docker run -v for Victor. -v for Victor. And say /opt/data :, and when MySQL is installed, generally it's installed under /var /lib /MySQL space MySQL. Okay, space MySQL. Now run it. So again, it's downloading. And list the opt.data after this. Okay. So I guess we won't be logging in, but okay, just say ls opt data. There's nothing in there.
Yes.
So now, what -v? OPT data is the external volume, and all the data will get stored here. Whatever, if we create a database, if any data is getting saved in that database, that data is going to be stored. So it's just in case you happen to remove the container for the MySQL, or maybe there is a bug in the existing version of the MySQL, and you'd like to upgrade it to a new version of MySQL, rather than upgrading the MySQL version, you remove this container. Maybe you go and find there's an updated image with the right version of their bugs fixed and things like that. So what we can do is we can remove this image and re-download the latest one. Catching it?
Yes.
Okay, and what will happen is we are not losing any data. That is something to be kept in mind. Next, let's say Docker inspect blissful underscore hopper,
Yes.
or what is the, just go ahead and look at the PS-A. What's the name? Loving Veskov. Yeah. Some good names there.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is the details. And here we might be interested in the IP address. What is the IP address? Scroll down. IP address is not assigned yet. Network bridge. Network ID. So it's internally creating its own network ID. But let's say IP address is empty. Okay, so in other words, this is the detailed information about that particular container. This is the container information, short and sweet.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, next say Docker logs and use the same name. Instead of inspect, say logs. 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 And let's see, so in other words, more precisely, we did not create the database, we did not do anything. So ideally, if the database is created and somebody were to be using it, the logs would be streamed here.
Yes.
Catch it?
Yes.
You may want to just open another terminal and do have a look at all those things and so on and things like that.
Yes.
So now let's say one more time, Docker PS. And we have MySQL Redis. You can later clean up these images, buddy.
Okay.
We'll say Docker on Ubuntu cat etc release one more time. Let's look at the Ubuntu's version.
Docker
Run Ubuntu cat /etc /star release star. Enter. This is a 20.0.4. So just for the sake of discipline, if you want to install, let's say a slightly older 18 or 17, you will say Docker on Ubuntu 17.10 or maybe 18.10 or things like that. Okay.
Yes.
Now let's say Docker run Ubuntu sleep 15. So now do a control C. It's stuck. Control Z. Control D. So what does that mean?
Nothing. It is still ready.
Now what does that logout mean?
Means
Okay.
This means that it ran for 15 seconds and then logged out from there.
So in other words, short and sweet, it ran for 15 seconds and came out.
Yes.
And then because you're doing Control C and Control Z, it looks like your terminal picked that up and it came out of the terminal. Okay.
Yeah.
So let us say yeah, Docker PS one more time. Get back into root. Hardware. So let's see what else we have. Copy the container ID of sleep 15. Okay, or in other words, I think because we're out of that one, let's say Docker run one more time, bring up the same command, Docker run. After Docker run, say space -d for detach, space Ubuntu, space 1500.
Leave 1500.
Yeah. Sleep 1500, sorry. 1500.
Enter.
So notice now, what do you think is happening?
It is running in background.
Background. As how do you verify that?
Docker please.
Okay. Catching it?
Yes.
Okay. Now let us say you want to stop that one. So copy the first 4 characters in container ID. 8444, I think. So Docker stop that container. Taking time. There you go. Okay, now verify.
Yeah.
Cool. So in other words, one of the things which needs to be kept in mind is if we did not give -d, we would have been stuck for 1500 seconds, right?
Yes.
So we do Control C, Control D, will not be able to exit it. So if you really want to stop that one, what would you do?
We need to maybe log in from the other system, then
As simple as that. In other words, you don't have to go to other system, just open another terminal.
other terminal, sorry.
Yeah. Good. Let's see. What is the next one? Relay, relaxment, sleep 15. We have stopped it. Okay, let's try this one. Let's say Docker run timer. Docker space run space timer. Oh, really? Remove it. That was an interesting one. Okay, never mind. Let's see, say Docker run Jenkins. No, minus. Okay. Unable to find the image. Oh, just a Jenkins colon latest. Go back. Go back to that one. Go back to the hub.docker.com. Yeah. Type in Jenkins. The first one. Docker pull Jenkins. The Docker pull is there. They don't have Docker on. Strange. Okay. Okay. Go ahead and pull it. I'm surprised they. Oh, what's up, buddy? We do have Docker running, right?
Yes.
We just tested it, did we? Yes, yes.
Yeah, it is running.
Okay. So Docker pull is also not working. That's it. Run it again. Error response from the daemon. Manifest for Jenkins latest. Not found. Manifest unknown. Manifest unknown. Using tag colon latest. This one. Yeah, just do a Google search on that, buddy, on that error. from there till for Jenkins colon latest not found. Oh, okay, the whole thing is fine. Yeah. Let's check some sites. My volume, my PO is giving everything here. Those are some things. He's giving my Jenkins and he's giving -v. I was going to slowly go there. But let's say Docker pull Jenkins/Jenkins. Okay, try that. Docker pull Jenkins/Jenkins. Deprecated. Oh, okay. My bad. Sorry. Yeah. Jenkins/Jenkins. As simple as that. But you can say Docker run Jenkins/Jenkins directly from it.
Okay.
Already done that now. Okay, pull is okay. I think it'll take a few quick. Download it.
Now, should I run this?
Yeah. Good. Augmented. Okay. Okay, there you go. So now if you notice here, Jenkins initial setup is required. An admin user has been created and password generated. And if you see, please use the following password. That whole thing is going to be the password. Just double click that password, copy that. This may also be found. Okay, so now what we'll do, we need to access this one. And so what is Jenkins? Behind the scenes, Jenkins is a web server. And let's say, because we're inside it, open another terminal. See if you're able to open another terminal rather than stopping this one. Yeah. And say, check for Docker PSA. And Jenkins. So you can copy the container ID. And let's inspect the container ID, Docker inspect container ID. Enter it. Okay, now take a look at the IP address. 172. Copy the IP address. 17.0.2 is what it is. And scroll down. So that is going to be the IP address. Since it's a web server, we should be able to access the IP address. But let's see. So what we need to do is this: we are accessing the terminal, right? If we are accessing the terminal, that is going to be acting like a private IP. Okay, we'll not be able to access it. So bring up your browser. This is not the right way, but bring up the browser and open a new window and plug in that IP address. And after you plug in that, add :8080. Enter it. We won't be able to access it, I think.
Yes.
Just waiting. Let's give it a moment. There you go. So it stopped. So now what we'll do, come back here, stop the container. You're out of it. Oh, sorry, stop the container. You already stopped it, didn't you? In blue.
It is running in this.
Control C. Stopping Jenkins. Okay. Now what we'll do is to be able to access it outside, you said Docker run -p, P for Punjab. Docker run space -p. 8080:8080. It's called port mapping. Space Jenkins /Jenkins.
Enter.
Yeah. Okay, starting. So we are mapping it to the host. We say we are mapping the host port of the Jenkins to this one. So now let's go back to that page and refresh it.
It is not accessible.
Still not in that set, right? Just do a control F5.
Maybe we need to use public IP assigned to this server.
Public IP. Public IP is for the server, right? For the AWS, right? So inside the public IP, yeah, actually, yeah, my bad. We need to use the public IP, buddy. Let's see. Where do I get the public IP? Let's continue. Are you taking the public IP of the AWS server?
Yeah. This is the server where we are running the containers. So I have copied this public IP
Gotcha.
and pasted on the browser and entered the code, but it is still not working.
It's still working. Set to a string. Put your window half of it, reduce the size of it so that we can work with both of them. Oh, it's 34. And you copied the right IP address, right? Public IP, right?
Yes, I have copied this public IP.
231. Go back to the IP. Is it 73.231? Okay, copy it right. That can be wrong. And let's say what am I doing? Is public IP was to know.
This port maybe is not open on this server.
Oh,
We haven't opened that port. Maybe it is only
TCP.
maybe we need to open the port.
Okay, go ahead. Go into that security group. And we have the type is HTTP. Oh my God, we have 80. What we have is 80. Anyway, you chose it as custom TCP. Shouldn't that be HTTP?
It's calling it is custom TCP.
Shouldn't that be HTTP? Rahul?
Yeah, it is accessible.
Oh, there you go. Okay, good one. Good one. Thank you, Rahul. I was lost for a moment, but paste the password. Now, install suggested plugins, please. This is the public. And okay, we'll give it a moment here. I think this will take a few minutes, I think. So it's installing all the folders and all the other dependencies. It's hooking up the GitHub.
Yes.
So short and sweet, Jenkins is a web server, web application. So for all the web applications and web servers, using the containers, we didn't have to worry about all configurations and things like that, Rahul. Otherwise, installing
Okay.
a web server and really releasing it is not a simple thing. Here, we're just able to take care of everything. So ideally, the developers can actually hook up these things into the containers. They can just ship up the containers to you and say, hey, you handle at a container level, not at an application level. Are you catching the point?
Yes.
Okay.
Means we are building. Why we are using this Jenkins for Docker?
Oh, that's a big one. That is a CI/CD tool. We're going to be talking about that in the coming up days. But it's a complete CI/CD tool, continue with continuous integration, continuous development, and things like that. We can integrate any application, hook up the tests, and do a lot more things. Full-fledged CI/CD tool, buddy. It's a full-fledged build that has been evolved to a CI/CD.
Okay.
So here we're looking at it like it is a web application, and we are handling it or managing it at a web application at a container level rather than at a web application level.
Okay. Okay.
Build timeout. Yeah. We're going to do that. Yeah. Yes, Aniket, working on that. I'll either use a Python or a jar file, buddy. Is Python okay? If you use instead of jar, Python app, maybe something like Flask app or something. It's good. Thank you. Saying credentials binding. Strange. Bring up the blue window. Let's see if it's logging anything there. Everything is an ID, everything is an info. I don't see any errors there. Scroll up, please. Let's see if there's any error coming up anywhere here, showing. I'm not sure if it needs to have all those things. Oh, there you go. It's throwing errors there. Scroll up. It says failed to timestamp. Strange. But no, that's not our problem. That's the application problem. Ideally, maybe we don't need to worry about this one. The internal, so that's the problem with the application. Is what it is, Rahul.
Yes.
And ideally, if we have to look at something like this, it will almost become impossible without looking at probably the internal code and things like that. But we don't have to worry. Ideally, we'll hand it over to the guys and say, hey, it's yours now. It's not our thing. So they will have to take care of this one, make sure these bugs are taken care of. But let's say scroll down. That's it. Just one or two. I just wanted a quick feel. Scroll all the way down. Okay, back to the screen, back to the browser. Almost everything is failing. My bad, sorry about that. Surprised. Maybe they don't. Strange. Should be right. I'm thinking some server we installed it on. We'll see. There's nothing, another scenario I want to quickly run it and I want you guys to kind of get familiar. Mailer and matrix, okay, almost everything will fail. So we'll see if it at least brings up the application, Jenkins app. So let's say continue. Create good and say admin and give some names, give some password. Confirm password. Okay. HTTP, okay. Save and finish. Jenkins start using. Good. So we're able to access it. Go ahead and create a new job. Let's say create a new job. Here on the middle, right hand side.
Yeah.
Here. And give some job name, say first job. Select freestyle project. Click on OK. Let's say put some data. Let's say this is a first job description. And say, I think we can go ahead and save it. Leave everything default and just say save it. Okay, let's see. Click on workspace. I don't know workspace. Okay, go back to dashboard. So there's the first job. So what do you think is the information that you entered about the admin, and what do you think is the first job?
Admin is the user information, like any user we are setting up for our Jenkins setup, and this job is we are creating a job for. I don't know why we are using that.
Good answer. So in other words, short and sweet, the admin information and the first job is the data of the application that we just entered. This is user data. Catching it? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Now come back to the blue screen. Stop the container. Stop the container. You can do Control C. Okay. Now go back to the browser. Refresh it. Cool.
Yes.
No longer able to access it. Cool. Now
Yes.
say what you'll do. One more time, bring up the container where you say docker run the same command -p. Yeah, run that. Okay, so now it is up. Now access the browser again. Copy that. Refresh. Let's give it a moment. Paste the password. Install. Just give it a few minutes.
Yes.
I'm just going to step on for one moment, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here. I'm just waiting for that, Rahul.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, we still have some more going on here. Let's see. Okay. So just to keep our time productive, let's see, Rahul.
Yeah.
So now if we bring back the application, it's a tough question, buddy. Can you take a guess what might happen now?
We might not see the job which we have created.
What about right now?
Will ask us to create new user. We won't able to access that user.
Why? Why?
Because the data got lost when we recreated
Excellent.
the container.
How do you know that the data got lost?
We haven't mounted the volume.
In other words, we separately need to mount the volume, another external volume is what we should do if we want the data to be stored. And most of the times that's what we do. Without mounting a volume, we don't really bring up an application because data is the most, it's very important.
Yes, yes.
Point, buddy.
Yes.
Okay, we'll give it a moment here and we'll see. Okay. So just to keep our time productive, what we'll do is, let's come back to another terminal, the black terminal.
Yeah.
And scroll down. Now, what we'll do is, we'll have a look at the Docker in a few minutes. Let's get on to a little bit of Ansible and do a few Ansible tasks. So log back, get back into the controller. So here. See where we go. Ansible. Store packages. Okay. You do a ansadmin. Simple way, copy file. Oops. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you need to get into my directory. That's where we configured our inventory and hosts and things like that. Prod backup. And do a head of 15 on Ansible config. Let's see what is our inventory. Oh, sorry, cat my host. So we do have a web group. We do have what is all this? Oh, oh, sorry, my bad. The screen was refreshing. Okay, so we have a web DB, all service children data center, also and a no password. Okay, acceptable. And let's see. Let's say type in this one. Try to come here. We'll get a quick touch of a playbook today. Let's see, we'll start with this one. In the chat window, we'll start with this. Okay, there you go, buddy. Ansible all yum. I think we don't have yum. You may have to use apt. Maybe there is yum. I pasted the Ansible. Failed to connect and unreachable. Failed to connect the host. We're not able to even reach one of them.
No.
Ping them first. Use module ping. Ansible all -m ping. So 1, 2, 152 and 27, we are successful and successful pinging. Scroll up, please. Oh, my chat window here. Let me see what is the error we're getting. The first one is 68 is permission denied. Okay. and failed to connect to the host. Okay, what is the 145? 145 is permission denied. Oops. No, not these two, buddy. The scroll up the previous set of messages. Okay, 68 is permission denied, 145 is permission denied, okay. 152 could not open the file, permission denied. Enable acquire the package, depackage, front end. Okay, so there are only two of them. Via the my host file. And let's say user and password, right? Okay, let me copy this one. And in the next line, all servers, right? We're using all servers. Say within the create a new group called all::vars, VARS.
All::vars.
Vars.
Yeah.
In the next line, copy paste this one, these two lines. Instead of XYZ and XYZ, use the AND segment. Instead of XYZ, use AND segment and whatever is the password, if you recall.
And password is same.
You don't remember the password, buddy?
The password is same. Any segment.
As simple as that, huh?
Yeah.
Good, you figured it out. Okay, good. So all columns. So what we'll do to keep it simple, let's comment the data center. Let's comment the no password for now. Comment that, put a couple of, maybe you can just put hash. No. The above groups, the data center group.
Okay.
No password.
No password. Yeah.
Comment out those two groups. The above one also. Not really sure if that is okay, but let's go and write and quit. And now try pinging it. You should at least have also. You must install the SSH program 27. SSH pass connection type. SSH connection type with password you must install. Oh, at least without the SSH username and password, we were able to ping, weren't we? Go back into the file. The my host. So there are two things I'm trying to convey. One is we can specifically give a username and a password like this here, like the way we have given AND segment. Are you catching the point?
Yes.
And now coming to the point, just comment out the last three lines, vars, user and password. Okay, write and quit. And ping it. Strange. Are you sure that is right password?
Yeah, password is right, but we cannot access into the server using the password because they are using PAN key.
Gotcha. They're using the private and public key, right?
Yeah, right.
Gotcha. So I think we need to use it on a server, which was here. These are SSH'd, but so in other words, those are used only where the public key is not. Even if the public key is not there, I thought it would work. Or even if the public key is there, but okay, I'll come back to that one. And let me come back here. Okay, now try to use the yum module that I sent you, the first command. HTTPD is not a, I think, valid one. So instead of HTTPD, change the name to, let us say, Git. Okay, enter. And let's see. So on 27, it's a success and changed is false. By any chance, do you know on 27, it is what does success mean?
We are able to
Tough question.
We are able to see whether the Git is there or not. If it is not there, it will install it.
Okay. In other words, short and sweet. What am I asking? Success means it executed successfully. Okay.
Yes.
Another tough question. The changed is false. What does that mean?
Git is already there.
Good one. So in other words, Git is already installed. Okay. And
Yeah.
let's see on the top one, what is it saying? What is their message here? Message says apt mark manual could not create temporary file. Permission denied, failed write and things like that. Okay. Now let's say rerun the same command, but instead of Git, use the name Nginx, Nginx. Yeah. And we got to fail on both of them. Permission denied, unable to acquire. Okay. Permission denied is okay. But these two are, we're able to ping them. So which means the communication, the handshake is happening. Scroll up. The same error message, we're not able to install Nginx. Okay. How about, let's say, and then add -b. Let's try it as a sudo space -b. Taking time, looks like it's working.
But how it is using this yum package manager? These are Ubuntu servers.
I think yum is installed, buddy.
Okay.
We can check that if yum is installed. Otherwise, it wouldn't even go this far.
Yeah.
So now let's say scroll up and look for a success anywhere. We just installed a trading database. Scroll further. So it says changed, and notice changed is true.
Yes.
So changed is true means it successfully installed it. Catching it?
Yes. Yes.
Since the above one is also in slightly orange or maybe yellowish color, we can take both of them as a success.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so we successfully installed, let's say Nginx. Try wget on the same thing instead of Nginx. Nginx, try wget. Change that to wget.
Enter.
Yeah. Change this for, so which means wget is there. Catching it?
Yes. Yes.
And let's say next try vim.
Yeah, it is already there.
Success. Now do a history.
Name, after name.
What's that? No.
Yeah.
Type in history, buddy.
Okay. I thought I have to write history there instead of this.
Okay, now if you take a look at the lines from 430, roughly from 431 to 436, what is special about that? 31 to 36.
Yeah, we are installing this package. If they are not present there, it will install them.
Okay, I'll see if I can ask the question like this. Is there any problem in this process?
Uh, Problem is
Or I'll give you another hint. Let's say there were 10, 20, or maybe 50 of them. What's the problem?
yeah, need to check on. It will run on all the servers, but we need to use dynamic inventory. That
In other words, we need to type in each of the command separately. And for what is happening is we are running them 10 times or maybe 50 times. Catching it, buddy.
but if it is there inside the inventory file, then it will run the same command on all the servers at once.
In the inventory file, can you specify the name?
No, we can use that ec2.py. What we said
No.
file.
What I'm saying is these are, let's say you had 10 or 50 softwares or applications.
Okay. Software.
Yeah, not the inventories.
Okay.
Instead of all, yes, you can also get the dynamic inventories from ec2.py.
Yes.
We have 50 of them, we need to run them manually. So it is not a problem, but it's a very manual thing.
Yeah. I
So
thought it is.
good. Okay. So that is where the playbooks come into the picture. We can put all these things into one file and we can run them. Catching it, buddy?
Yes.
So what is each line here?
What is each?
Line. What do we call each line here? Okay, that's a slightly confusing question. It's like one moment.
Hello.
Yeah, one moment.
Yeah.
Hardening configuration.
So actually, this is like we are doing a software installation one by one using Ansible, right? So can we have a total like as in a framework defined? Like whenever you install a new server, these are the things that should be present on the server.
Exactly.
It's like playbook type. So are we going to go into that?
Yeah, that is what I'm about to explain now.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ankit. Put it well. And so, in other words, that's where the playbooks come to our rescue. So, in other words, each line is like a Linux command here, Rahul. And in the world of Ansible, we call each one as one task. What is a playbook? A playbook can be called as a group of tasks.
Okay.
So you run one playbook, you configure one playbook. The playbook is kind of acting like a mini framework. Framework is a big word. Framework is a group of playbooks can also be orchestrated, is what ideally a framework is. But
Okay. So group of tasks is called playbook, and group of playbook is called framework. Okay.
So in other words, more precisely, an orchestration of the tasks and the playbooks becomes a framework.
Okay.
Orchestration is how you orchestrate when you want which task to be done and things like that. That is referred as orchestration. So Ansible is an orchestration tool of the tasks, is what we can say. Catching it?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So for that, what we'll do is, let's say we have the host file. Pardon, sorry about that. Okay, go ahead and create a playbook. We'll call that as vi space install underscore, let's say packages.yml.
I'm just told to wind up today.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So should we do?
Yeah, no, sorry. We'll continue on Monday, buddy. Let's see where we are. 5 minutes. Any questions before we wrap up, Rahul or anybody else, guys? Rahul, you have any questions, buddy?
Yeah, Naveen, I have. Okay. So the main purpose of including Ansible in our training was for that hardening purpose only. Like we have a Terraform and everything in place. So we wanted Ansible to do hardening of the servers. It's like we usually get requests to do, like this type of hardening, like this is the framework defined, like that. Okay, so for that purpose, we wanted to have an, like Ansible in place to do the hardening. Like instead of doing it manually, we can have a playbook created, and
Gotcha.
whenever new server comes, we will run that on that server.
Excellent.
Yeah. So this was the main requirement.
True.
Yeah, we are getting into that, right?
Yes. I have the whole next week planned for that, buddy.
Okay.
Cool. Great. Appreciate that. Thank you, Aniket. Keep it up. Okay. So if there are no questions, we'll wrap up, guys. And everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys take care, stay safe, have a good weekend, and keep learning, guys. So signing off for today. And thank you and bye for now, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you, Aniket. Bye now.